Welcome to Stone Hands, to the hands of stone. We will dwell into the ancient cultures and their ability to harness the cosmic energy. Have you noticed the ancient hermits, for example, found in Southern Hu or in ancient Scythia, or by the courts of the Byzantine emperor, the Varanians? Have you seen those amazing helmets, like the eye where the crowns, the ancient helmets? Yes, one purpose could have been waging war, indeed, but another purpose could have been of harnessing the cosmic energy and wisdom. The ancient Vikings of the Baltic Sea, the Finns, the ancient Vikings of Kalevala, they used to wear their precious metals, their jewelry with them. They had a custom to show off the wealth. But that's a perspective that we have nowadays. Maybe they were wearing all this jewelry, all the silver and gold, because they were able to touch the spiritual aspect of our body with the precious metals. Why people go so crazy when they see metals? They see gold, they see silver, they see copper, and they want to touch it, they want to own it, they want to have it. Maybe it helps people to connect back to their origins, to their own silent, sentient nature. Like the conquistadores in the South America, there were riches depicted everywhere, golden statues, golden roads. But those Spanish and Portuguese conquerors, they decided to melt, they decided to rob all of that metal and bring it back to Spain, where it was stored in the warehouses. Isn't it strange? A great confiscation of gold. Maybe the gold helped to hold a kind of a spiritual advancement in a civilization, as the old civilizations have probably been more sophisticated than we are in this current age, like the megalithic structures that we find around the world, like the lineage of the Egyptian pharaohs going 30,000 years into the past. Isn't it strange that we have narrowed our understanding and we are understating the importance of a long story of history? That we have concluded that our civilization is some 10,000 years old. That's really narrow way to look at the things. And to add to the story the use of the paramagnetic metals, of harnessing the cosmic energy, as we are experimenting in our garden with paramagnetic stones and with antennas to harness the cosmic energy, and we see clear results. We see our garden growing, the plants, the trees loving it, being more hardy to the frost, more tolerant to drought, and they are able to grow larger than we ever expected them to grow. That's beautiful, and that's an accomplishment in my view. So people act like the nature around them. So when we are connected to the earth, we get messages from the earth. We understand our own rhythms, our own place in the world. And the ancient people were more connected to the nature. They were connected like they were literally connected to the ground by electrical currents because they were not wearing rubber footwear. Yes, sometimes they wore leather shoes or even wooden shoes, but not all the time. They were quite often in contact with the elements. So they understood a larger picture of all the sentient beings in the world, and they understood in a more better way their own place in the world. And the history of wars, yes, there have been wars in the history, but it contradicts with these great chapels and cities and walls and buildings that were built. How on earth they could have built it if the people were in constant war and decay? That is not possible. There must have been more peace and more awareness of our own might and our own situation across the history. Maybe the Black Death, the plague that went through the Europe was an organized genocide, like some viruses that have been unleashed upon people. And maybe before that genocide, before the Black Death, there might have been a high civilization that was more tolerant and more peaceful than we are used to. And maybe their buildings were preserved for a long time. Maybe. I'm not saying it is the truth, but I'm just wondering about different chances of things happening. And those Vikings in the Finns, they used to extract a lot of ore and metals from the swamps, the bog ore, the iron from the bogs, and they used to make beautiful jewelry, beautiful weaponry, armors, and they used also precious metals from the meteors. There are quite many meteor craters around here, and it is said that the area of nowadays Estonia and Livonia was the crater of European blacksmithing during the Viking Age, during the Dark Age. Maybe it was not a Dark Age, maybe it was a more sophisticated age, but the memories from that age have been erased by the plague and by the conquerors. So we could have a different narrative to our past than we are used to. Indeed. Yes, we see kind of empires that dominated kind of lands that were bordered with some lands, but it has never said how the people who were defeated, how they were living, and what kind of societies they were living. Yes, we know some things about the Celts and the Finns, and we know that those people were more spiritually and sentimentally advanced than we are nowadays. They were more connected to the nature, to the forest, and they were able to communicate their great thoughts to the universe. They were the great manifestors because they used the power of the song, the ancient songs and tales and storytelling. How long stories can you memorize nowadays? The trainees of the bards, the ovates, they had to learn hours of stories and to retell them. Their tradition was oral. It was not written, and with that oral tradition, the culture, the brain was developed in a different manner than we are used to with our 3-second click forward byte society. These are just thoughts to wonder about and to see where will they take us. So I wish you everything good, and please subscribe because you don't need to. Yes. Okay, bye bye.